Oh, and holiday greetings. This is Valerie London. I decided to wear my holiday outfit for you, at least my hat. Today I'm going to, and the reason for all of this garb is because I am making keto, low carb holiday dressing. Now, you will need a few things, and you'll need to do some prep work for this. There's not a lot to do, but you do need to spend a few minutes in the kitchen getting everything ready. All right. And the other thing I want to mention is I hurt my finger today. So that's why I'm all gloved up. So forgive the glove if it looks spooky. But the next shot I'm going to show you is the ingredients. And then we're going to go into the cooking. All right. So I hope everybody has a happy holiday. And this can help you stay on your keto program a little bit. Hi everybody, I'm back to show you the ingredients for the stuffing. This is my dad's recipe. This is his old gardening diary, which he used as a recipe book. And this is his recipe. My dad's passed on to another world, and but he lives in his recipes and all of his very kindnesses and his loving appreciation of all things. So I'm going to share this with you. I had to adapt it because the original recipe called for bread, which we don't do on keto, and potatoes, which we also don't do on ketos. So the main ingredient is, now all of you don't go crazy, this is chicken liver, all right? And it has to be cut up relatively small. So what I did with this is I got the raw liver and I boiled it. You don't boil it for very long because you don't want the liver to get hard. All right, so no more than 5 minutes until it gets all brown. Then I had some sausage that I'm going to add to this. This is pork sausage, but you can use any sausage you like. The spices are garlic, ginger, and a few chilies. Now, I'm only going to use the seeds of these, all right, because I don't want my stuffing to be hot. I just want it to have a nice warm taste to it. And this is very good for poultry. I've used this in another recipe, and it's available at the Keto Pantry, and this is called savory spice. All right, so those are the seasonings, and salt and pepper, of course. Now, instead of bread, I made 3 slices of keto bread, and I got them to be this small, like little cubes, breadcrumb cubes. All right, so it's very easy to do. The bread recipe, of course, is on the YouTube channel, Keto Curiosity Gourmet. All right, so that's that. And this is the one you have to do the day before. So there's a little bit of prep work in making that, but not long. It took me, I don't know, 10 minutes to make this bread. Then instead of the potatoes, I'm using turnip. All right, it's seasonal for the holidays, so I just cut it up in little cubes. And then you'll need 2 to 3 eggs, also chopped. And the other thing that I'm going to add is caramelized onions. You can use regular onions, but the recipe for caramelized onions is also on one of the YouTube videos. All right, and I chop this up fine. So I caramelize the onions. This is also part of the prep work, so you'd have to do this, earlier and get it ready. You can use, as I mentioned, regular onion as well. Just chop it up really small. And then the last thing that you add to this is a little bit of swerve sweetener, all right? Because it is a stuffing and it's not meant to be overly savory. So a little bit of swerve sweetener. Now I use about 1 teaspoon, maybe 2, depending on how much chicken liver you have, all right? And that's about it. Now, the beginning steps are you want to heat, oh, and I forgot to show you my lard. All right, so we're going to be using lard to cook with. Fat is very good on the keto program. This is lard, all right? And you're going to use about a tablespoon of lard to fry up all this stuff. Now, the thing about this particular stuffing is you don't want it to get too mushy, but you want it to be stuffing friendly so that when it goes into whatever you're stuffing it with, or if you're eating it by itself, you don't want it to be mush. So you want to keep the firm consistency, so don't overcook. You want to really quick fry this stuff. And the first things that you want to do is you want to heat up your lard. So here's my lard. and it's about a tablespoon of lard. And then you want to quickly fry all your spices. You're gonna put in the savory at the end, all right? So keep that, and you're gonna use about a teaspoon of savory. All right, so let's get on with cooking. Okay, so I'm back, folks, and I am toasting my bread cubes with the garlic and ginger and the chili, and I added the savory to the bread crumbs. So I'm choking up a bit because the chili is very pungent, so I'm getting all that seed flavor coming through. And so I'll be back. The next thing I'm going to add to this is the turnip, and I'm going to cook that. So here is my turnip cooking in the middle. I had to add some more fat, so if you need more fat, just keep adding what you need as you're frying along, all right? So it's still a pretty dry mixture. My bread is pretty firm, and that's the kind of consistency that you want with everything. So here is the liver added, and the sausage added, and the onions added. And then I added, personally, a teaspoon of currants. No more than that. If you have them at home, or raisins chopped up, just a little bit, just to give it a little holiday flair. And I'll come back in just a second and show you what it looks like with the egg added. Before I added the egg, I just made a slight adjustment, and I started adding my Swerve confectioner's sugar in here. Remember, just 1 tablespoon. Give it a taste for this quantity, which is a pound of chicken livers. I forgot to say that. Pound of chicken livers, 4 sausages, all right? So that's the basic meat components, and 2 to 3 eggs. Now for this particular recipe, I'm going to add the eggs here, I think. The reason why we add the eggs last is because you don't want them to break up. And I'm using duck eggs. So I've never used duck eggs before in a recipe like this. And I like duck eggs because they're a very firm egg and they taste good. So if you have duck eggs in your area, then use 2 of those. That's all I've got in here. See, they're quite big, so they yield a lot. And then if you're using conventional hen eggs, then chicken eggs, then use 3 or 4, all right? So you want to boil those up and then slice them into little bits and add them. And the reason, as I said, the reason I'm using the duck eggs is because I don't want them to break up. I want them to stay pretty firm in the mixture. So remember, add the Swerve sweetener first and incorporate that, give it a taste, and then add your eggs. All right, so that's the holiday stuffing. And of course, you can add salt and pepper. You can make this recipe anytime. You don't have to wait for the holidays, of course, but you're going to have to substitute some things. You can substitute the meat for mushrooms, all right? Turnips, rutabagas, you can get all year round. They're very low carb. You can use those as well, all right? So enjoy and happy holidays again. So I forgot to do the taste thing. So I just tasted it and it's pretty phenomenal. I haven't even seasoned it yet. So the thing I wanted to mention is the sausages that you use. So I used a pork sausage. If they're very salty, you don't need to add salt to this. All right, so I'm going to taste it now. There's my bite-sized piece of stuffing. It really tastes really good with the keto bread that's in here. Yummy. Yeah. That's it. Really good. Now, another thing is if you want to stuff a bird, I would put it in a chopper of some kind. You've seen my demonstration of my little handy dandy chopper. And chop it up just a bit fine. Actually, let's do it now. We're going to add some of this in here. So let's see. And this is to stuff a bird. If you want it to be a different consistency to stuff a bird for the holidays, a turkey or a game hen or whatever. And I might do that for another recipe. So stick the top on and we're going to give it a couple of pulls, not too many. Check it, and it's already come down in size. And we're going to cut it a bit more. And there we go. It's more of a smushier, so I'll show you what the difference is in size. So let's get a container. And this is the consistency of it out of the fry pan. And this is the consistency that you're going to stuff the bird with. All right, it's a little bit more minced. I don't know if you can see that, but it's completely different consistency. All right, so that's the consistency you want. It takes a nanosecond in this chopper thing. And of course, that's available in the Keto Pantry. All right, so there you go. Enjoy.